All right, everybody, welcome into Fresh Takes, Russo and Felice. I am Paul Russo. Next to me, as always, man, myth, legend himself, Nick Felice. Nick, happy Tuesday. How you doing? Freshly shaved, too, by the way. You're looking good.
Yeah, you try to get that every week, Paul.
Unlike me.
I'm doing well. Back. It's good to be back on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's been our first Tuesday in a hot minute.
Yeah, I thought we were turning into a Wednesday show. We don't want to be a Wednesday show, but
we're a Tuesday show.
We have always been a Tuesday show, but we are back. It is a big night for your sports teams, by the way.
Yeah. We got hockey, the Lightning, obviously Yankees in postseason, but different discussions today. We aren't really talking any of those, actually, oddly enough.
Yeah, it's still football season. It's the big football season. Good game last night. Mm-hmm. Travis Kelce, 4 touchdowns, 25 yards. That's pretty impressive.
In the way that you thought ESPN kind of covered him, you thought he had 4 touchdowns for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
But
well, he's legit.
Different discussion for in a couple minutes here. Appreciate, as always, Nate Sharman. Behind the scenes, I'm sure you'll hear his voice every now and then pop up from time to time. He's producing as always. So, but we'll have stuff to kind of cover in the NFL. It was an interesting week. Concussions still kind of at the forefront. We'll kind of talk a little bit about that because not only was there a roughing the passer call, to put it bluntly, last night, you had a couple other interesting ones, even though I know he's in concussion protocol. You had even doctors with the NFL questioning the Teddy Bridgewater pull at the time, and still kind of are, and stuff like that to work out. Obviously, a lot of games to kind of get into. College football, big week locally. Syracuse, the odd favorite going into this game against NC State.
I didn't see that one.
But we'll have a moment of Paul getting on his soapbox here because I am a bit perturbed at ESPN. And at much your, I don't know if this is going to be much of your chagrin or not. I don't know how you feel about this. It's something we haven't really actually discussed even in our group chat. The whole entire Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, and the Warriors situation. So
what are my thoughts on it?
Well no, that's a topic for later on. I don't know how you feel about it because I know how you usually feel about them, but I think in the negative way, I think I might get a positive spin out of you with the Warriors for a change.
Well, that's pretty unacceptable what Draymond did. So
save it for when we get to it, though.
All right,
the rest of it.
All right.
Let's jump on in the NFL week 5 in action. Oddly enough, so
we're over a month into the season.
Crazy. So let's start. Let's start with obviously the local thing here. Like the Bills just are a juggernaut this year. At this point, officially, right? I don't think there's a way we can kind of like avoid it at this point. 38-3 against what some people really were billing as a decent Pittsburgh team. I didn't think so, but I figured Pittsburgh would put maybe.
Who said that?
Well, preseason.
Okay.
I'm talking about here at this point. But like, I figured, I figured they'd at least be able to cover the 14. I mean, 14 is a big spread in the NFL. I need double digit like that, and to more or less get that, they more or less were doubled up on it. I mean, that's just incredible.
Could have been more if Bills didn't fumble the ball on the 1-yard line at one time. So,
and it's interesting how I think a play can kind of determine, I guess, a game early on, especially. So, like normally I watch Red Zone with you and Matt, but this week myself and Nate we had an event to stream, so I just kind of hung out at home in the afternoon. I know Matt was at the game anyway. You presumably had to go into work at some point, but I would have paid really great money to see Scott Hansen's reaction to Gabe Davis' 98-yard house call on 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 9, whatever it was, the first drive of the game, because for a moment there, it really did look like, all right, Pittsburgh has them pinned, they're not going to be able to get anything going here, and Josh Allen finds pretty much, I'm intrigued here, actually. I will go to Nate here.
Yeah,
on
I have
this
a question
one.
for Nate, too.
Is Gabe Davis officially Josh's favorite target at this point, or
No, that'll probably be Diggs for the better
Okay.
part of the rest of the year. Gabe Davis has just been hampered with an ankle injury.
Okay.
He's finally getting back healthy.
right?
Now I missed the start of this game. How did the Bills start the game on the 2-yard line? How did that happen?
It was
They missed so they got the ball first. I missed the
Yeah.
first 10 minutes too, but I
So-
believe they missed a field goal, and then the Steelers punted, and Tywan Jones muffed the punt and recovered it at the 2-yard line. I think.
no. The opening kickoff was a rough one. It swirled because it was the first play. It was the first drive of the game.
I know
for the
they missed a
Bills.
field goal on their first drive.
Was it?
I believe so because I know Tyler. I think he got like a 48-yarder blocked.
Was I really just not paying that much attention to
We'll
that?
have to go to the notes on that one, but I'm
No.
pretty
The
sure.
blocked field goal came the next drive.
We'll have to go to Tony Reale in the back.
No. The touchdown came first because I remember it. Touchdown came first, then the punt, then the Bass blocked field goal.
Yeah.
I remember that in order, succinct order, by the way. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just weird because I know like a lot of people kind of are. I'll say pro Gabe Davis because I don't know what other way to kind of phrase it.
Paul, you're right.
Yeah. But
I hate saying that.
a lot of people do. But I'll put it to you this way. Like I said, I think a lot of the fans are pro Gabe Davis at this point.
Well, he scores touchdowns.
Well, no, but I think a lot of people kind of, again, Nate can probably answer this better than us because he is the Bills fan out of us here. But this is certainly, a couple years in the making at this point, the year he's kind of started off with and everything like that.
Yeah, and that catch over Minka Fitzpatrick
Yeah.
is unreal.
Yeah, so.
His second touchdown.
Yeah, but I think when he's healthy, like I know, like you said, Diggs is probably still the number one, but Josh sure seems to love targeting Gabe Davis.
Yeah, definitely deep.
considered.
He's a really good deep threat.
Yeah. So, I mean, outside
I
of
also
that,
think Josh Allen makes these guys better too.
well, I mean, that usually helps.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett, I know a lot of Steelers fans, we mentioned last week on the pod, a lot of Steelers fans around here. For what it's worth, I didn't think Kenny Pickett looked too bad.
No.
He certainly had flashes, but like that defense really did him no favors, obviously, and
What are you gonna first career start at
Yeah.
Buffalo? I mean,
Yeah.
what else do you want out of him?
well, I remember Nance and Romo like, well, Ben Roethlisberger, they brought up like the past two to have their first career starts, like on the road in like that type of environment where like Ben Roethlisberger and Terry Bradshaw. Like, yeah, like that's those are two like really good quarterbacks, obviously.
Yeah.
like come on. So didn't seem all that bad. Your G-men,
That was my favorite game of the week.
I bet. How you feeling?
I got up in time to watch it, so that was pretty cool. It's not. I'm more excited about the Giants 4-1 start.
Mhm.
I think the Packers are a little overrated this year.
100%.
There's 3-2 still with the loss. I hate to say it, but I think the Vikings might be the best team in that division this year. And
Yeah, record-wise, I'd agree.
you don't agree overall.
No.
Who's the best?
It's weird saying this out loud. I would go with Detroit, I think.
It's very weird saying that out loud. You should keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
Detroit.
I can tell you
I
for
agree with
sure-
Nick. You should keep that one to yourself.
I can tell you for sure who's not.
Yeah, Chicago, the
Yeah.
other option.
Yeah.
It's definitely not Detroit either. I mean, Detroit has shown
God, that
flashes.
offense, man. What a big letdown this
How
week.
can you say that after Detroit just lost 29?
I know, I just said what a big letdown this week.
Yeah, it was. But
Anyway, back to the G-men.
yeah, the G man. It's surprisingly the AFC East and the NFC East are the two best divisions in football.
I don't know about that. Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes a little bit here. Both have, really it's only one. The division says one team really weighing them down.
Yes, and that is your Washington Commanders.
The commies.
But
oh, God, they're
the
bad.
thing about the Giants, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, have they played the toughest schedules yet?
The Cowboys, you can make a case, yeah.
Yes. Eagles, not
Not so much because they're on the second place schedule.
It's hard to judge them in 5 weeks,
Yeah.
but
But you can
records
tell
are
by the
pretty
way,
good.
yeah. But you can tell by the way like their games are played and stuff like that. I mean, we were kind of on the Eagles up front on the year, both of us. I think more so me than you. I think we were both kind of expecting a little bit more, maybe out of Washington. Both of us were kind of I think the Giants will be better than what people perceive them to be, and they've kind of lived up to that, obviously, record-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 4-1. Like
Saquon, you
Yeah.
know, they dragged him into
I
the
mean,
locker room.
but that's the key part in this, right? Is a healthy Saquon.
I mean, they dragged him into the locker room when he got hurt there
Yeah.
for a little bit. Came back out, scored the game-winning touchdown. And Daniel Jones does his job.
Yeah.
I mean, the offensive line was tremendous during that game. They were giving him all the time to throw. So, you know, any quarterback gets time to throw is
Right.
going to make some good throws. I mean, they're NFL quarterbacks for a reason. So he played well. You know, obviously, I think not even a debate right now. Brian Daboll's coach of the year after the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, more than likely. I think it will be. I think at this point, his only competition might be Dan Campbell, just kind of depending how the rest of the year kind of plays out.
Dan
for Detroit.
Campbell
Yeah.
of the 1-4 Lions. Do you know what the record is? 1-4.
Yeah.
The
I mean,
Lions are 1-4.
They also have like the third best offense in the NFL. Like nothing makes sense with them.
this guy.
Jared Goff up until this week was putting up like you could make a case for early season MVP. Like not saying that he
usually I'm
is.
the big
I'm
Lions
not
guy,
saying
but-
that he is. I legitimately believe Josh Allen's the MVP right now, but like you can make a
Yeah.
case for Goff being MVP.
This guy had a little too much coffee this morning, but
Not enough. I'm just hammering my rowdy.
but yeah, no, it's not Dan Campbell. The Lions are not good, and Josh Allen is the MVP, not Jared Goff. But
We will also shout out the other New York team,
the Jets.
The Jets, big win over the Dolphins, and it provides a nice little segue into the concussion thing because obviously that's the game, one of the games really that got highlighted with Teddy Bridgewater going down.
I mean, the Jets are, you know, it's great that they are
Yeah.
3-2, but they did beat a third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Bridgewater played what, one play?
2 plays,
And he was
something
gone.
like that. Yeah.
So they basically played a third-string
I
quarterback.
would say tough scenes. Did you see what happened in myself and Sam Shields' fantasy matchup this week,
last night.
where he picked up Bridgewater to play quarterback last minute, got knocked out, and then the same thing happened with me, but with Darren Waller, and that cost me a win.
Yeah, all you needed was like 8 points to tie.
Yeah,
And
which
he-
Waller would have gotten.
And he got hurt.
Big Spain.
Didn't get one catch. There.
My existence is pain. I'm on the path to do that WNBA punishment, aren't I?
Oh, you got a whole constellation tournament. Plenty of time before that.
But anyway, yeah, back to it. What's weird is the new concussion protocols and rules kind of came out. They did come out after the Thursday night game, which was weird, and they implemented them for the rest of the weekend slate of games. And obviously, for the most part, in gameplay, they didn't have too much of an effect. Obviously, it did with the Dolphins and Jets. And then last night in the Chiefs and Raiders, you had roughing the passer call. Specifically, I know the Chiefs were upset about it, but I mean, you could make a case that Raiders fans should have been upset about one later on in the game, but that's here nor there because the one that does get highlighted is the one with Chandler Jones sacking Derek Carr in what is about as clean a tackle as I think I've ever seen. Like, literally. And it's tough because obviously and I understand you want to protect the quarterback, you want to protect these players, but I don't know what else you want these guys to do at this point outside of it just being flag football.
I don't know if did you bring up the Bucks one?
No, because I tend to not look at that too much because I think we're all kind of sick and tired of the whole entire Tom Brady calls and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
that's a good.
that was
It
bad
is a fair
though.
example to bring up. It's a fair example to bring up.
That was bad though.
Yeah,
I think it was third down too. I
Yeah.
think the Falcons were going to get the ball
yeah,
back.
yeah. That one legitimately was game changing.
Yeah.
Legitimately,
But it's Tom Brady.
right? So I don't know. It's tough because, like I said, they were one game into the week slate of games already when these rules came out, and to me, you put the refs in a really tough spot because it's bad enough they have to do the interpretation stuff outright like that anyway more times than not. And look, I'm not saying because some of these refs, and we go through it with every professional sport, right, are just bad. But I mean, I don't envy them, especially this week, being put in a spot where you're landing and getting off the plane Saturday morning. You get told oh, here's a whole new set of things you have to look at.
What sport has the best refs?
I think all three of us would say different answers. Nate's more of a hockey guy, but I've always thought NHL refs are really good. But you ask a lot of people who are bigger NHL people than myself, and they'll say no way. Collectively, I mean, I know we mock them pretty good, but I mean the NBA refs are probably the best out of the bunch. Maybe.
You're right. We do disagree because I think the NBAs are the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just
hockey's probably the best for me because they just stay out of.
Yeah,
they don't need to be in the game as much.
That's
as
my
other sports.
thing with it. And
I know who's the worst refs.
Baseball.
College basketball.
Ooh, college basketball.
Well, you have TV Teddy Valentine still out there, so yeah.
I mean, we could do a whole podcast about that. My thoughts on that.
Baseball.
You could do a whole one just specifically about the ACC refs. That's just how bad they are.
Little League.
Well, they're volunteers, but
Pretty bad.
yeah, okay. So Nate has my back, so I'll switch back to NHL. Like I said, my guy Wes McCauley deserves a shout out.
I just see too many bad calls in the NBA, so I'll say NBA refs.
Yeah. Anyway, we could kind of talk about it, but Patrick Mahomes had a classic Patrick Mahomes game last night in a way. Travis Kelce, 4 touchdowns on 25 yards. And
I forget what your stance is on NFL analytics. You're not a big baseball analytics guy.
No, I am I'm baseball analytics guy. I think there's a combo for it, though, in baseball.
Why?
The NFL, I don't understand NFL or football analytics the way I do baseball analytics in that essence, I guess.
So what's your thoughts on the two teams going for 2 at the end of the game?
The Chiefs one I don't understand. The Raiders one I do.
Going for the lead.
Yeah.
The Chiefs one.
The Chiefs one I just don't. Because no matter what, you have them having to go for a touchdown and then a field goal anyway. To me, I don't know what you're doing. Just take the 1 point and move on.
Go up 8.
Yeah. I don't know.
I remember a day.
To me, it's basic. I could be wrong. But
I remember a day when going for 2 was rare.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with, and this is, I think, why they obviously did it was pushing the extra point back to the, 23 or whatever the hell it is, or 13, that forces a hand a little bit, I think. But I don't know. Let's pick some games. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thursday night.
The bye starts this week.
Yes, Thursday night is yeah.
It's a game.
God, thank God it's on Amazon Prime and I don't have to watch it.
It shouldn't be on anything.
Yeah.
Paul, the Sabres play. You can just watch them.
Thank you. The Commanders at the Bears.
Really? People are actually going to that game? People bought tickets for that?
Yeah. Yeah. People will be trying to return their Amazon Prime membership to Kohl's after that game, I think. As if last week didn't them any favors.
I'm going Commanders in this game.
What? Oh, God.
It is at the Bears. They did play. They almost came. They did come back against Minnesota. Took the lead, but they didn't win.
You're taking the Commanders?
I'm taking the Commanders.
Why?
NFC Beast, baby.
Oh, gosh. This team has really just drained the life out of me for pro football. I'm going Bears. I'm sorry to my fellow Washington fans out there. Just what has this team done for us? I don't mean to make this like a rail against the machine, but why what have they done? What have they done for us that makes us go let's continue to support this franchise? They've sucked the life out of me as a football fan from the pro side.
They made the playoffs that 1 year with RG3.
We killed RG3. We literally let RG3 out there with a bad knee, and we destroyed his playing career.
Moving on.
God damn, we let Sean Taylor and Brian Robinson get shot. By the way, it's a pick 'em game right now, Thursday night. Sunday, no European games, thank God. 49ers at the Falcons. The 49ers are a 5.5-point favorite.
49ers at the Falcons.
I'm going Niners, by the way. This is a pretty easy pick for me.
Niners.
Yeah. This is an interesting game here. Patriots at the Browns. The Browns are a 3-point favorite.
Why is that interesting?
Because if Mac Jones is able to go, I think it's the Patriots all day. If it's Zappy again, I feel pretty confident in Jacoby Brissett in the Browns.
I'm going Browns.
I'm gonna go Browns until we have official word on Mac Jones. I think you have to go Browns. Even then, the Browns defense is a hair better than the Patriots. But Judon's having another really good year. All right, Jets at the Packers. The Packers are 7-point favorite at home. Do it.
If it was that New York,
Do it.
do it.
I'll do it. If you don't do it, I'll do it. I don't have a problem with it.
I'm going Packers.
Jets. Jets.
I think they're a home team. I don't know if the Jets can win on the road. It's a tough place to play.
I would lose my mind if Zach Wilson showed up to the game, to Lambeau Field, with a T-shirt that this is Aaron Rodgers' mom's face on it. That'd be fantastic.
Well, what are your thoughts on someone in that Jets game? It was Michael Carter, I think. Did the waddle.
Oh, that's tremendous. I love when players do that. Just an outright mock. I love it. This is this is the first time seeing the spread on this game, and I have questions. Jaguars at the Colts. The Colts are a 2-point favorite.
Jaguars have not played great since they blew that game against the Eagles.
And the Colts have not played great all year.
Colts won on Thursday night. Great game. Very entertaining.
Nobody won last Thursday night. Nobody. Not a soul.
I think the
only people who did win, and this is why I call a cross promotion to our Out of Bounds podcast hosted by Josh Durso and Nate Sharman. The only people who did win were the Mina Golf Tour and Live Golf, as they gained probably a couple viewers from Thursday Night Football. Right, Nate?
It wasn't too many viewers. It didn't look like it had too many views when I checked in.
Yeah, but you were watching. You switched over.
I watched a couple shots.
That's not the point.
Count it.
Go Colts.
I'm on Jags.
Also, the Colts beat the Chiefs, Paul.
Yeah, they did.
Colts, they could be frisky. The Jaguars were terrible last week.
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. What are you guys trying to tell me?
The Jaguars were terrible last
Bring
week.
up Trent Dilfer every podcast, I swear.
I was ready to believe in the Jaguars until last weekend.
Well, I'm a believer. Vikings at the Dolphins. The Vikings, a 3-point favorite on the road.
Vikings at the Dolphins. Not with a third-string quarterback.
Yeah, this is a question. If it were even Teddy, I'd be tempted to take the Dolphins, but I can't. I got to take the Vikings. Yeah. Skull. Bengals at the Saints. Joe Burrow returns to New Orleans and Louisiana as a 1.5-point favorite on the Saints.
It's a good storyline right there.
Yep.
Bengals have not looked great. But neither has New Orleans. I'm going Bengals get the big road victory.
Yeah, Bengals are just slightly better. And again, another question of health with the Saints. Do we see Jameis this week or not?
I don't know.
So
Taysom Hill look good.
This is a low key, a very, very good game right here. The Ravens at the Giants. The Ravens are a 5-point favorite on the road.
Super Bowl, whatever rematch.
Mm-hmm. The Trent Dilfer Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's the one.
Everything comes full circle on the Fresh Takes podcast.
Going G-Men, why not?
I'm with you, actually. I want the G-Men here. The Ravens struggle to close out games.
None of your Commanders are way out of it. Do you think we can catch the Eagles?
Yes.
And the Cowboys?
Yes. Oh, I think the Cowboys fall back to earth at some point here. The Eagles are the ones.
Oh, the Cowboys will fall back once Dak comes back.
Well, it's not so much that. I mean, the Cooper Rush thing, even if Dak doesn't come back, hypothetically, like the Cooper Rush thing has got to fall off eventually.
Yeah.
But the Eagles, like I said, I picked them out right at the start of the season. They're too good. Mm-hmm. At least in that sense. But yeah, I'm on Giants here. Giants close out games really good, and the Ravens don't close out games good at all. So
yeah.
that'll be something to keep an eye on. We'll call this the rock fight of the week. The Buccaneers at the Steelers. The Bucks 8-point favorites on the road.
Going Bucks.
Yeah, as am I.
I mean, the Steelers really showed me a lot on Sunday to pick them.
First of the 4 o'clock windows, a 4:05 kick. The 1-4 freshly fired head coach Matt Rule, Carolina Panthers are on the road to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Rams 11-point favorites.
What's up with the Rams?
If there was ever a game to really bounce back, this is the one.
Taking Rams.
Yeah.
Why, Paul?
What do you mean? Why? Baker's hurt. The Rams or the Panthers are in shambles. Run CMC might be a Buffalo Bill by this time next week. Like,
I like the first game without the head coach. The Rams.
Steve Wilkes, by the way, is the interim former head coach of the Cardinals. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Charlotte, North Carolina is still so far from Los Angeles, California, and yet there will still be more Panthers fans in that stadium. I don't
know about this week with that. Hold on.
I like the Panthers.
Hold on.
With the new interim head coach,
Steve Wilkes,
to get the win against the Rams. The Rams have been struggling. There is big, major problems with that team right now.
Cardinals at the Seahawks. The Cards are 3-point favorites on the road.
Going Seahawks. Geno Smith's a legit quarterback.
Yeah. This is a really toss-up game for me. I'll go Seahawks as well. Give me the home field advantage.
Yes. Battle of the Birds.
A game that I'm sure... Actually, to be fair, the final 2 games on Sunday are really good. 4:25 on CBS. The Buffalo Bills head to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Bills, 3-point favorites on the road. Wait, you're doing the LeBron thing? Not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10, 11, 12, 13?
Going Chiefs.
Wow. Okay, I'm going Bills.
Took me 13 seconds to figure out that.
Okay, I'm going Bills.
This is the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era that he is a home dog.
Really?
Yep.
How about that?
It's at the Chiefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arrowhead will be rocking. That's a great stadium.
Give me the Bills. Give me the Bills.
Any explanation?
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
That's the only game.
It's the only explanation you need.
I think it should be a night game, but I guess we'll settle for 4:25.
Yeah, because the Sunday night game is the Cowboys at the Eagles. The Eagles are 5-point favorites. Fly, Eagles, fly. That's my pick.
I guess I try to go to bed early that night.
The Cooper Rush era hits its first loss.
Yes, I think so too.
And then on Monday night, what a way to really punctuate the week. Broncos at the Chargers. Chargers are 5-point favorites.
They got to stop putting the Broncos on TV.
I'm going Chargers, by the way. Not even a question.
Not even a question. Chargers haven't looked too great, but I'm going Chargers as well because the Broncos are bad.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Oh, God. Disgusting.
He said that after the game. That was awesome.
Oh, gosh. I'm about to throw up. All right, let's head over to college football here quickly. It's going to be a fun week, I'd say, or allegedly a fun
You're going.
week. I'm going.
What time's the game?
3:30. We're going to have some fun.
You like the 3:30 game?
Yeah, we're going to do a little tailgating, I think. Third ticket to be determined, as I'll call it.
You like it better than the new game?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Do you like the night games?
Yeah. Dome and spooky hours is... No, you don't want to come to the Dome on a Friday night. I can tell you that. But let's start here, obviously, with Syracuse. They didn't get game day. Game day is heading back to Knoxville for the second time in
What a bunch
4
of
weeks
losers.
for Alabama, Tennessee. And I'm not going to sit here and bash.
Maybe next week.
That's the game, probably really of the week, right? Number one
if they win
Bama.
this game this week, maybe.
Well, Syracuse is at Clemson next week.
Yeah, no.
If they were to do that, then I legitimately will kidnap Lee Corso and force them to do game day for Cuse Notre Dame at Syracuse.
It's true.
Even though I won't be there. and you won't be there.
A lot of people will.
Yes. But looking forward to it for one. But game day, they go to Lawrence, Kansas, and they talk about how, like, we want to try and spice things up. And what do? You go to frickin' Knoxville again. So we can hear McAfee yell about Rocky Top for the frickin' 1,783,000th time.
They just went to Tennessee.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
Why are they going back?
Because it's Alabama and Tennessee. Even though it's a game on CBS.
Wow. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It drives me up a wall. The disrespect for Syracuse.
Well, it is Syracuse football. We got to keep that
It's
in
not
mind.
the point. Not the point.
I don't know if
Disrespectful.
I don't think that
It's
made the bottom line on
disrespectful.
ESPN that they destroyed Wagner, but this is their first true test of the year. They've had some fun. They've beaten the teams they're supposed to beat, but this is their first legit game. If they can win this game, then people are going to take a second look at them. It's not Clemson next week. That's an extremely tough test next week. But if they go into that game with a 6-0 record, the confidence will definitely be up high. And I'll be rooting for them these next 2 weeks because I can't even imagine if they won these next 2 games. They would be a top 10 team in the country hosting Notre Dame, which should be ranked again. I don't know.
Well, that was going to be our next question for you, actually. But
Did they get ranked again?
no.
No.
Syracuse is ranked 18th in both polls, by the way. But
Oh, yeah. I was thinking they'd be like 7th. But if they win these next 2 games, they're going to be... they'll still be around 7th because none of those teams are going to lose.
how you feeling, though, about your Irish, though, right now? Nice little... I shouldn't say, well, that's a big win.
It's a big win. It's tough. You lost to... They lose Marshall. Lost to Marshall.
The Herd,
So that basically ruined their
team of destiny.
their playoff chances. So it hasn't been great when that happens in week 2, but they're playing well. They still got a shot to go to a pretty good bowl. So it's just disappointing that they're not going to play for the playoff this year. But hey, you just got to get Marcus Freeman some experience. It'll be a great game in a couple weeks. Halloween weekend is going to be really spooky.
Spooky hours in the dome.
That's a night game, I think, too.
I haven't announced the time yet.
Yeah, it should be. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy though if they're a top 10 team,
Right.
hosting Notre Dame with all the Notre Dame fans around here.
Yeah.
That place is gonna be nuts.
So, looking ahead for the week, we have our first true Wednesday regular season game of the year. It's the Louisiana Raging Cajuns take on the Marshall Thundering Herd in Fun Belt action on Wednesday night. How about that?
I already forgot the 2 teams you just said.
Louisiana and Marshall.
Oh, Marshall.
Yes.
Oh, screw them.
Marshall's a 10.5 point favorite, by the way.
Yeah, I'm going the other team, Louisiana State, whatever you said.
Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. I'm going Marshall, by the way. But
That's like 23 straight days of football.
It's here nor there. A lot of good. This is it. Look, I don't want to outright bash game day. They had their pick of games this week, but I'm just disappointed that they're going back to a place that they were literally just a couple weeks ago. So, but NC State, Syracuse 3.5 point favorite. It's nuts.
Yeah, I can't believe that. What's NC State ranked?
15th.
And they're 18th. Wow. How about that? That's a top 20 matchup.
Cuse, baby, all day. Let's go.
You taking the 3.5?
The 315, let's ride. Hell yeah. Give me the money line. Give me the points. Give me everything Cuse, baby.
Oh, I would take them every which way if we could here in New York.
Hell yeah, Nate. There's a reason why you're Mr. Syracuse.
Do you want to drive to New Jersey
No.
in the morning?
No.
So we can bet on them or no?
No.
Okay.
No. That's too far out.
I mean, I guess we can figure out a different way if we are really desperate, but
3.5. I don't like it. I'll take NC State plus 3.5. I think Syracuse wins by a field goal. Maybe by 1 or 2 points. I think it's going to be a great game. But it's going to be a close one. I picked them to win. Game-winning field goal.
After
Garrett
all the
Schrader-
hype, after all the hype you just had.
I don't know, man. I have
Number
to see how
10,
they
Penn
play.
State's at number 5, Michigan.
Is Michigan finally playing a decent team?
Penn State,
What's Penn State ranked?
10,
What's Michigan ranked?
5.
It's at Michigan though.
Mm-hmm.
Is it noon?
Yep. Big noon kickoff.
I'm going Penn State.
Wow, I'm going Wolverines.
I can't stand Michigan.
Let's see here. I have to scroll down for a while here to get to the next really decent slate. Alabama, Tennessee. I'm going Alabama. I don't understand they're only a touchdown favorite. They're going to win like 45-10.
Yeah, that's an easy bet right there.
Yeah.
But it's at Tennessee. Game day.
Is Bryce Young back?
I don't think it
think
makes
so.
a difference, but yeah, I mean, who knows? To me, it doesn't make a
What do you
difference.
think of that call by Texas A&M at the end of the last week game? Did you see the play?
Yeah, that's just Jimbo being Jimbo.
What a
I
terrible
mean,
call.
Yeah, bad call. Just run the ball. Run the ball.
Game on the line.
Idiots. Oklahoma State, TCU, 8 versus 13. TCU a 3.5-point favorite at
Did
home.
they end up winning last week, TCU, over Kansas?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going to go Oklahoma State, though. Give me the Pokes.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
By the way, shout out in their first year of existence as a Division 1A program, James Madison officially 25th in the country.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're in the same class as
JMU.
Syracuse.
JMU, baby. Mississippi State 16 at 22 Kentucky. Should be an interesting one, but I'm going to go with a rebound victory. I'm going Kentucky.
I like Kentucky, too.
Stanford, Notre Dame, one of the oldest rivalries in college football
What
this
happened to
weekend.
Stanford, man?
God, they're bad.
What's the record?
1-4.
Oh, my. The same coach, too.
Yeah.
Wow, what happened to them? Obviously, Notre Dame.
I'm going Notre Dame, yeah. And then Pac-12 gets interesting. It's number 7 USC at number 20 Utah. But I'm going USC.
USC.
USC's a dog right now, by the way.
Whoa, you like that?
Mm-hmm. And for what it's worth mentioning that the 2-4 Nevada Wolfpack are on the road to face the Hawaii Warriors for our Hawaii After Dark experience this week.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing that game up.
For us sickos out there.
What week is this now?
Week 7 for college.
Week 7.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, it's 2 months in.
Yeah.
And Syracuse is still undefeated.
How about that?
Did you realize, though, like I told you this before, if they go undefeated, Syracuse, they will be the number 1 seed in the college football playoff.
What happens with Georgia and Alabama in this scenario? Do they just like die in a plane crash? Like,
I think someone beats them once this regular season, and they'll beat Georgia in the championship, and they'll both be in. And you'll be playing Clemson once again.
wow. How about that? Nick Felice. You said it here first. I'm fresh.
No, I don't know, because you would have to go undefeated. You would beat Clemson once, and they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't even play in the ACC championship. I think Clemson would be out.
How about that?
You would play Michigan.
Wow. You heard it here first on Fresh Takes from Nick Felice.
Number 1 seed, Syracuse hosting Michigan.
Before we get out here, do want to talk about the Warriors situation last week with Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. The leaked video, obviously not a good look on Draymond anyway in this case, let alone with or without the video. Yeah. This is a team that we talk about a lot of positives with, but we have a negative here. Yeah. And obviously, Draymond's in the wrong. There's a lot of interesting kind of things to take away from this. A lot of people, while saying Draymond is wrong, and I don't disagree with the sentiment that they also bring up the fact that whoever leaked the video probably also a little bit in the wrong for obviously different reasons. But it's just an interesting scenario. Obviously, pretty much at the doorstep of the NBA season. Mm-hmm. Tips off next Tuesday night. We'll do our preview obviously next Tuesday for it. But look, a team that still very much so has that championship window wide open. If last year's any indication, I don't see why they wouldn't be the favorites going forward this year. And look, Draymond and Jordan Poole are big pieces of that puzzle for the Warriors.
I haven't heard anything. Punishments?
There's going to be some sort of disciplinary action against Draymond. But not from the NBA, but from the team itself.
Yeah, it's a terrible look.
Yeah. The NBA, I think, is doing the right thing by just kind of staying away from it and letting the team handle it for a change.
Has he played his last game as a Warrior?
No, I don't think so. This might be his last season as a Warrior, but I don't think he's played his last game as a Warrior. At least I don't have any indication. I don't know why you'd rock the boat just with the season about to start any more than
what
it's
has
already
Jordan
rocked.
Poole said about this?
He's been pretty quiet about it.
Yeah.
But that's also usually the way Jordan Poole is, which is why this whole entire deal has been interesting kind of from the start.
Has Draymond apologized or anything?
Yeah. Yeah, he had a presser like 2 days after, which was a day after the leak, and said, he acted out and whatever. And
I mean, you're just probably pushing and shoving and fighting all the time.
something had to have been.
Right.
I was about to say. Something had to have been said. Kerr obviously, he's the golden example of it. Steve Kerr got punched by Michael Jordan in a Bulls practice, and Kerr brought up a good point that this happens probably more often than people kind of think. He said that there, at least in his time playing and coaching and being in the front office, this probably has happened at minimum somewhere in the 20-ish times range. It's just that this is the first time really that we've ever had the video footage of what really transpired. So it's interesting because like I said, I don't necessarily doubt that say this happened at some point in the Heat locker room, Nick locker room, but it definitely even then though. There's a lot to unpack here. Draymond, I wouldn't call it a true sucker punch, but it sure looked like Jordan Poole wasn't really expecting it.
No. He was probably just expecting another shove or something.
Right.
Because Poole shoved him, right, to start.
I think it was like hard play or something down at the other end of the court, and then they were just kind of mouthing off to each other. And
he went a little too far.
Yeah.
His anger got the best of him in that situation. But I don't think it's going to affect the team at all. It might affect Draymond coming back to the team, but the team will be. Draymond is the glue to that team, but I think they'll be fine. I don't think it's gonna affect them at all.
Is he the glue of that team though at this point?
He was.
I think you make the case that like Clay is kind of the glue at this point. The way that they've always kind of rallied around him, and the way they kind of changed when he came back last year.
It's true. Good point. But Draymond does his
makes
job.
You wonder. Yeah.
They are the defending champs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Every good team has a heel, right? And Draymond certainly does not have a problem being the heel in that sense.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's interesting because, like I said, this is a team still very much so the championship window's open for them. We're at the dawn of a new NBA season.
Yep.
Obviously, with arguably at worst the third most noticeable notoriety-worthy team in the NBA at this point, it's a lot to unpack. I think, like you said, I don't know if it necessarily really rocks the boat of the team too much, and it already has.
Because such a long season,
right? And look, I think we both could be very much so wrong. I think we could get a month into this deal where they have 15 or so games under their belt. And if they're like 4-11 or something ridiculous like that, where it's pretty clear that he's an issue, then I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone sooner than later. But that being said, like I said, I don't see him cut, waived, traded before the season starts. I can see a scenario where maybe he is traded at the deadline or something like that, but more than likely not in my head because he's like you said, he's too big of a piece overall that team. But I can't see a way at this point that he's there next year. I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
It'd
be interesting, especially when they play on the court at the same time, if that ever does happen again.
But they do. They play small. Poole usually will be at the 4 and Draymond at the 5, or vice versa.
And we talk about how good Draymond's is. Jordan Poole is just as important to this team as he is. So.
100%. Poole's turned into kind of like one of the unsung heroes on that team. Can shoot, can play low, can guard pretty well.
He improved a lot last year, so he's a pretty good player.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, we'll talk more NBA next week with the season tipping off next Tuesday night, and we'll do our preview then.
Just a little touch, NHL starts tonight.
Yeah.
MLB, your Yankees playoffs start tonight.
It's one of your favorite times of the year.
Yeah, it's a busy time of the year.
So, all right, that'll do it for Fresh Takes for today. Nick, who are you shouting out?
I just brought up the Yankees. I'm going to shout out my cousin Jack.
Shout out Jack.
It's difference in a year for the kid. He was at that Yankees-Red Sox wild card game, the last ever AL one-game wild card game last year. And they did not win that game, but they play tonight against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Shout out Jack. But Paul, who you got in that series?
I'm rolling the Yankees, but I am frightened as hell of that Cleveland team. Scared as hell
They
of
got
them.
pitching.
Yeah, they're good.
Cal Quantrill's all right. We'll see how they do tonight.
He doesn't get strikeouts, but 15-5 and a sub 3.5 ERA is really good. Really good. All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Catch up anytime on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe there. See us on Anchor and Spotify. Appreciate Nate Sharman producing behind the scenes. We'll talk to everybody next Tuesday morning, hopefully, or if not, be Wednesday morning again. Either way, we'll talk to you next week. See you then.